Hello everyone and welcome back once again. This is your civics teacher here, and this time I am here with a new chapter of NCERT grade 6, that is what is government. Students, I hope you may have come across many headlines through various magazines and newspapers. And students, have you ever wondered what a government is and the important role that it plays in your lives? What do government do? How do they decide what to do? What is the difference between different types of governments such as monarchies and democracies? Students, in your this chapter, you will get a comprehensive idea about the types of government and its function. So, let's start. Students, a government is needed for each and every country in order to make decisions and get things done, ranging from decisions about where to build roads and schools, or how to reduce the price of onions when they get too expensive, or ways to increase the supply of electricity. Students, as I said, that a government is needed for each and every country, and no country can run without a government, because a government is a social welfare organization and it works for the benefits of the common people without making any motive to maximize profits. Hence, the main agenda or the main role of the government is welfare maximization. And students, a government also take actions on social issues and other important things like running postal and railway services, hospitals, etc. And students, a government also protects the boundaries of the country and maintains peaceful relation with other countries. And it also ensures that all its citizens have enough to eat and good health facilities in times of peace and during disaster. And students, in fact, the government also deals with disputes among the people through the courts or through the judicial system available in a country. Now students, I hope there may be some question arising in your mind that how these functions are done by the government or why it needs to be done. Then students, as you all know that when different groups of people live and work together, then there needs to be some organization so that the decision can be made and the group of people work according to these rules, and decisions can be made, and there need to be some rules that apply to each and everyone. And students, the other function of a government is to protect the territory of a country and to control its resources. And students, in order to protect the country and control the resources, the government can exercise its power and make the decision for the welfare of the nation, and in fact also implement the decision amongst the people living within the territory. Now students, let's understand that what are the different levels of government through which it works. Students, as we discussed the different responsibilities of the government, so students, in order to run these responsibilities efficiently, the government works at 3 different levels, and these are local self-government, state government, and central government. Students, at the local level means in your village or town locality, and in the same way at the level of the state means covers an entire state like Haryana, Assam, Uttarakhand, and at the central or at the national level means to the entire country. So students, these are the 3 levels through which the government run. Now students, the next topic is law and the government. Students, a government of a country makes, execute and implement laws which are applicable to each and every citizen of a country. And students, a government can not only make decisions but it can also enforce the law as well. For example, as you all know that everyone driving a motor vehicle is required to have a driving license. And students, as you all know that if any person caught driving a vehicle without a license can either be jailed or fined a large sum of money. Students, in the same way, peoples of a country can take some steps if they feel that a particular law is not being followed. For example, if a person feels that they are not hired for a job because of their religion, caste, sex, creed, etc., then he or she may approach to the court to claim that the law is not being followed. And student, then the court can give orders about what should be done in that case. Now students, let's discuss about the different types of government. Students, as in your earlier section, we discussed that government has the power to make laws and to enforce them. Now students, there is a question that who gives the government this power to make decisions and enforce laws? Students, in a democratic country like India, people give the government this power to make decision and enforce laws via through election, in which people vote for a particular persons and elect them as their own representative in the government. Then students, these elected people of the majority party form the government, and in a democratic country the government has to give explanation of its action and to defend its decisions to the people. Whereas in a monarchy type of government, the monarch, means to say the king or the queen, has the overall power to make decisions and run the government. And students, in a monarchical form of government, the king or queen can discuss matters with a small group of people, but the ultimate decision making power remains in the hand of the king or queen. And students, in a monarchical form of government, no one can question the decisions of the government, and kings and queens have no need to explain or defend their action or the decisions that they make. Now students, let's understand that what is democratic government and how it runs. Students, as you all know that after a long and eventful struggle of the Indian people, India became a democratic country. And like India, other places in the world also struggle to have democracies. And students, as we discussed in the earlier section, that the main feature of a democracy is that the people have the power to elect their leaders as their representative in the government in order to run the country. And students, in a democratic country, people do not participate directly in the lawmaking process. In fact, people choose their representative through an election process, and these representatives meet and make decisions for the entire population of a country. And students, the most important feature of a democratic government is that a government cannot call itself democratic unless it allows what is known as a universal adult franchise. Means the right to vote should be given to all adult citizens without the discrimination of caste, class, color, religion or gender, and it is based on the equality, which is a basic principle of a democracy. That's why we can say that a government cannot call itself democratic unless it allows the citizen of its nation a universal adult franchise. And the students, the condition that we see at the present times where all are allowed to vote is not same as always. There was a time when governments didn't allow women and poor to participate in election process, and that time governments allowed only men who owned property and were educated to vote. It means that women, the poor and the property-less and the uneducated were not allowed to vote. And students, all the law-making process and the decisions were basically made by a few men. And students, as same in the case of India also. Before independence, here in India, only a small minority was allowed to vote. And students, these small minority therefore came together to determine the fate of the whole majority population of India. And so, at that time, many leaders like Gandhiji shocked at the unfairness decision of the government, and so they demanded that all the adults have the right to vote and giving rise to universal adult franchise. Now students, let's discuss and understand that how the women got the right to vote. Students, the government hasn't willingly shared power anywhere in the world, and from past time all over the Europe and the USA, the women and the poor were not allowed to vote. So that times all over in Europe and the USA, women and the poor came together and have had to fight for participation in the government making process. And students, during the First World War, the women's struggle to vote is strengthened and to be called the women's suffrage movement. Means the women right to vote. And students, as during the time of the war, many of the men were away fighting, and because of this, women were called to do the work that was earlier considered to be men's work. And students, that's how this led people to rethink why they had created so many unfair stereotypes about women and what they were capable of doing. And now, then from the First World War, women were also considered as equal as men, and they were also seen as being equally capable of making decisions in forming a government. And students, so the suffragettes demanded the right to vote for all the women and the poor, and they want to get their demands to be heard. And so that's why they chained themselves to railing in public places and start protesting for their rights. And students, during their movement for getting the right to vote, many suffragettes were imprisoned and went on a long hunger strikes and had to be fed by force. But students, ultimately, after a long struggle for the women's right to vote, in 1920, the American government accepted the demands of the women, while in UK, the women got the right to vote after long struggle in 1928. Now students, with this topic here, your chapter number 3 is completed. Now I will be come back soon with another chapter. Till then, stay home, stay safe and stay healthy.